so abrupt.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's shaking.
Welcome to Nerd Couch, where we will be talking about Across the Spiderverse. Fantastic movie. But before we get into that, we must give a bit of a spoiler warning.
That's right.
Because we will be shouting out some heavy spoilers for this movie.
All right, I don't know, including the ending.
Including the ending.
Yeah.
The beginning, middle, and end, I think.
Yeah. The whole hamburger.
Yeah. The meat, the bun, and the toppings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do it any other way, Grim.
I don't either. It's fully loaded. The works.
Yeah. Let's get right into this, right?
I'm happy to.
I think I can speak for both of us and say that we thoroughly enjoyed the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right. But we'll get into our thoughts a bit later. Anything to say before we really get started?
Well, I was just looking at the
I felt that you had some say.
I was looking at the poster, and the Peter in the poster looks kind of like a samurai in that robe.
Yeah, he flat out uses the robe as like a paraglider.
Yeah.
At some point in this movie.
He does.
Baby attached to the chest and all.
Right. He can fly with that thing.
Yeah. It's a new power, really.
Yeah. It's a dad power.
Dad powers. Exactly. All right. This movie starts off through the perspective of Gwen.
I really appreciated that.
Spider-Woman.
I really did. Like, I love the fact that it started with Gwen's story and kind of like throwing out a random bit of backstory for her.
Yeah. We'll get into the backstory in just a second, but let's talk about the style.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of like a water painty kind of style.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little different than the Miles style, which is more kind of like that. Well, it has like a graffiti art kind of feel.
Yeah, and it's very much at a lower frame rate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The contrast between the different styles for the different Earths, is just crazy and makes this film kind of an art piece.
It really does. And I don't know if we ended up talking about the first Spiderverse movie in an earlier show. I can't remember because
we must have. We've
done so many shows. But I'm sure we mentioned the art a million times in that as well. So
yeah. The pastel-y kind of colors, not pastel-y, but the knocking my mic here. The art style of Gwen's universe, kind of like a mood ringy thing.
Yeah.
Right. Where as her mood changes and stuff, the colors change and stuff. And I think that in this movie, if you pay attention to the colors, through this movie, it will tell you a story in its own.
Well, you had the luxury of going to see this twice. Am I correct?
Yes. I liked it enough. I saw it again. You saw it today for the first time. I saw it last weekend, and I saw it again today with you.
Yeah.
So I got to see things with a little bit more of a keener eye, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So
this is definitely one of those movies, though, and just like the first one, where once it's out, it's going to be one of those things that I go back to several times and watch over and over.
You're going to catch things over, especially with so many different Spider-Men.
Yeah.
Spider people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even like. There's a werewolf of some sort. So is people the right word?
The cat, Spider Cat,
the Spider Cat,
Spider Pig.
You know, we'll get to a few of them, but so I don't know if a lot of the viewers know Gwen's story so much. We know Miles's story and we know Peter Parker's story and stuff like that, but Gwen has her own story.
Yes.
Where right from the comics, her Peter Parker is not Spider-Man.
No.
You know, she's bitten by the spider. And as you can see in the depiction here, still a scientist.
Yeah.
You know, smart guy. But
mad.
he wants to be more like Gwen. And like right from the comics, they took those words like I wanted to be special like you.
Yeah.
So he becomes the Lizard.
Yep. Which I thought was a cool twist. Like I wasn't super familiar with Gwen, I think, prior to the first Spider-Verse movie. And I liked her as a character so much that I started kind of trying to pick up more and more. I actually just bought a compendium of Gwenpool.
Yeah. So. I mean, that's right up my alley. Gwen is such a great character.
And design-wise, like she has so much different than the other Spider individuals that it makes her feel so much more unique.
Yeah. I haven't read a lot of the Gwen's books, but she has quickly become like a favorite.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's just so much style and stuff, and her story's awesome. And, you know, just she's depicted so awesome in these movies. So
a ton of the cosplayers I follow too at this point, because of, I think, that first Spider-Verse movie. I think all of them at this point have done some sort of cosplay on Gwen.
Yeah, if you've ever seen some of the Gwenum cosplays,
Gwenum's dope.
Holy crap, man. Like, they are so good. Like, all the Venom style cosplays are just wonderful. Yeah. But like, even like, I don't know, I'll show you a little something that like, when I say that I'm a fan of some of these characters, like I can prove it. Whoa. Like it's a little figure. That's from the, I can't remember what one that is, but like that's the Gwenum figure. I can't remember what series that's from.
That's cool,
but it's awesome. You know, I love Gwenum. I have some of the Into the Spiderverse figures in the background. A little hard to see, but pretty awesome.
I have a mess in the background, so let's not talk about background.
Yeah. So in this movie, same thing happens. Parker becomes the Lizard. She fights him, not knowing that. He dies.
Yep.
And her father, the lieutenant, is now forced to chase down the Spider Woman that killed Peter Parker.
Yep. Sad story.
You know, and there's a sad story in every Spider person's life, and that plays a big role in this.
Yes.
In this movie.
That's basically the main storyline of this movie is the stories behind the Spider people.
Yeah. So the chase down happens and stuff like that. She's evaded her father and the police force for quite some time now, until she has to go to a call that's heard over the radio, where she is met by the Vulture, but not the Vulture from her world.
No, like Renaissance Vulture.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar at all with if there's like a Renaissance styled Spider-Man.
Or I'm not sure, but I would assume they're suggesting that there is.
Yeah, because this was a pretty predominant scene for a while, especially for the opening bit.
And I like that they kind of call him Paper Vulture.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he looks like he's like a Da Vinci drawing.
Yeah, they do a lot of jokes about him not sighting fires because he's made of paper and stuff. And this is when I think it's Miguel. Spider-Man 2099. Another awesome character.
Yes.
Right. I've got the first appearance and stuff like that.
Cool.
I should have had it out. I should have been ready.
You should have been ready.
Right.
We've been setting up for like 45 minutes.
So when I saw that, like they do over and over again, they slap the comic book down.
Yeah.
I'm in the theaters, and I saw it with my brother at first, and I said, I look over him, and I'm like a little kid. I'm like, I have that. I have that. Right. Just excited to see that on the screen and stuff.
Yeah. It's really a cool way to introduce the different main Spider people in this.
And I don't know if you knew this, but they are actually laid down in the order that they appear on screen.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm being told. That's what I'm being told.
Your sources have told
my
you?
sources, the internet. But so he's come out to help Gwen, not to help Gwen, but to fix an anomaly.
Yes.
You know, they're part of a task force, him and Spider-Woman.
Jessica Drew.
You know,
who's also pregnant and still out there fighting crime.
And actually she gets pregnant in the comic books too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And still just keeps doing spider stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Criminals don't rest.
I feel like you could take 9 months off.
Yeah. But we do not meet her husband in this.
No. Who is it? Do you know?
I can be honest when I say I do not know. Okay. I haven't really read the Spider-Woman books much.
Okay.
I'm going to assume at some point or another we'll meet the father of that baby.
Potentially.
You know?
Not in this film.
And spoilers. Spoiler.
Unless it's Miguel. Maybe it's Miguel.
That's, you know what? You kind of guess that in your head when you see it.
Yeah.
Right. But this is something I honestly don't know. And you know, it's exciting to not know.
Is it?
Right? It is. It is.
I feel like at some point I'm going to search the internets.
Well, yeah, most likely.
The clues.
So they take the Vulture down. They've got to go back to headquarters.
Yes. And I think it was important to note after that whole battle, Gwen was pretty beat up and was almost arrested by her dad.
Yeah.
And showed who she was. And it was more trauma. Another trauma.
Like crazy emotional moment where he's seeing the person that he thinks at the time he's been chasing her down for ages for the murder of Peter.
Yeah.
And finds out that it's his daughter. And then at that moment still decides to be a cop over her father.
Yeah. He's going to arrest her. It was gnarly. It was
right.
I'm sure he was totally conflicted, but he was still going for the arrest. Like,
yeah.
So weird.
Even after the pleads and stuff like that, right? You know, this is a hard thing for Gwen too. Miguel and Spider-Woman are heading back. Spider-Woman wants to kind of take her on. Miguel is clearly not a fan of this.
You know, I felt like maybe it was an elite task force, and that's why he didn't want to.
But there's other reasons.
When we get to see it later, it's not that elite. It's like hundreds of spider people.
No, yeah, and that's what Miles is being told, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's
Miles is being told, oh, it's an elite force, and we can't take many people in, but we find out later why that is, right? Because we're they take her, she gets a watch, you know, a special edition Spiderverse watch.
Yeah.
Which is a portal gun. Pretty much.
What? And it helps them not glitch when they're in other universes. So
that's helpful, dude.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Right? Cuts over to Miles's universe. Miles's Earth. I keep saying universe, but it's his Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Where he is
dimension?
Yeah. Okay. Because it's each Earth that's another dimension.
Pretty much, right? Another dimension. Yes.
So back over to Miles in the same kind of dropped frame rate, stuff like that, where he is late to an appointment.
Such a classic spider person trait.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's fighting crime and stuff like that. He's late because he's got a secret job, like every spider person does, right? Does he fight Spot at this moment.
Pretty.
This is why? This is why he's late.
Yeah, he's late because he fights Spot, and then Spot is beaten, and he gets back to his appointment and has to fight Spot again because Spot escaped. And...
So let's talk about Spot a little bit here. First off, who is Spot? In this, he was working at the place where the collider was being built.
Yes.
Miles threw a bagel at his head.
Yes.
And turned him into a villain.
Well, I don't even know. Like, that's such a weak excuse for being as big a jerk as he is.
Yeah, that's his origin story.
Right? Like gets hit in the head with the bagel.
No, and he was turned into this because when the collider exploded, he was in the facility.
Yeah.
Right? Therefore, and he was also the person who brought the spider into Miles's Earth universe. Right?
Yeah. And he was carrying away whatever he was working on when the collider exploded and it merged with him.
Yeah. So
this dark matter that,
like Spot says, they've created each other.
Yes.
Okay. Therefore, them being each other's nemesis.
And he's hell bent on being the nemesis, but he's such a poor criminal.
Yeah. Well, he starts out being a very poor criminal. And it's humorous.
Yeah.
When he's trying to steal the ATM machine from the one store, and he's just not having a good time.
No.
At one point, there's bread spilling out of one of his spots. It's
at the center spot there, I think, where Miles is kicking.
But their fight has all the classic Spot, and when I say classic Spot, I'm not sure a lot of people knew who Spot was.
I don't think so. Like he's a B grade villain at best, if not C.
Oh yeah, but if you go back and you look at some of the comics and some of the cartoons that he's been in, it's the classic punch or kick him through one of his spots and punch yourself in the face type deal.
Sure.
Classic. So it's spot on.
Oh
wow. Ooh. We are on today.
So good.
All right. Yeah, so he's late for his appointment because of that. He's got his mom and dad that are just upset with him because he's applying for colleges and stuff like that, right? But he's a Spider-Man, so he's got things to do. All right. Not only that, but later on he's late for a gathering to
honor his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a mom and dad, right? It's worrisome.
Especially when you don't know he's Spider-Man and he's always not where he's supposed to be, and he's 15.
Yeah. He's got to spread his wings, man.
I was feeling the dad vibes. I was like,
yeah, being a father yourself, where's this kid? What's this kid up to? Is it drugs?
It's got to be the drugs. He's on the drugs.
Yeah, so he's late. There's a funny bit where where he gets cakes and it's
I'm not proud.
Yeah. I wish I had a picture of that. The I'm not proud. But searching on the internet, it's this whole two cakes thing, some sort of a metaphor for not being able to balance two lives.
Yeah.
That's very profound.
Mm-hmm. It is. Okay. It's deep.
Yeah. I think that you could find a lot of metaphors in this. Okay. Even we haven't talked about it much, but there's a lot of transgender references in this movie. I didn't know if you noticed, but there's a couple flags on people's vests and stuff like that, and there's a poster in her room.
Oh yeah.
That's regarding transgender people, and a lot of people are now saying, "Oh, is she going to turn out to be a trans gender character?" I don't think so. I would like them to keep on pace with the character.
Sure.
Would I be upset? No, I wouldn't.
You're not gonna freak out and stop buying Spider-Man?
No, not at all. But I would like them to keep on pace with it to me, it doesn't make much sense. Now, again, I haven't read the books as much, but as far as I know, it doesn't make much sense.
Right.
But let's support the transgender community wherever we can. Sure. Right.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have to read too far into it.
No, and we talked about kind of just bits of those. You have to be careful on the lines that support and pandering. Like when we watched Infinity War, and they did that super women empowerment piece where it was Captain Marvel holding the gauntlet, and she didn't need a random moment when all of the women of the Marvelverse all stood behind her and said, oh, she's not alone, because she was okay being alone and a super powerful woman by herself. The same as like they had Scarlet Witch, which was a super powerful female character. Pandering and support.
Yeah, I agree with the you have two extremely, possibly most powerful characters in the Marvel universe.
One almost single-handedly beat down Thanos. Like,
yeah,
she's probably one of my favorite characters in
the Marvel universe,
the MCU.
Yeah,
and
so we won't concentrate too much on that, right? But that's the point is there, right? You can be respectful to those things without pandering, and we don't have to read too far into things, and we can just, there can be support for communities without reading too far into it and making a big deal out of it,
right? And all of those people who choke every time they think something is woke can go fly a kite.
There's a big,
because woke just means that you're understanding and an ally of those things.
Yeah.
And if that's being woke, then I'm proud to be woke then.
Yeah. Screw off. There was some people that I found that said that this movie was woke and stuff like that because there's so many different cultures and stuff. If you can't see a reason for there to be that many cultures in this, and out of hundreds of Spider-Men, you think that they should all be one
white males? They should all be white men.
Yeah, like just go fly a kite, right?
Right.
Like have some fun, and you know what? Some of the cultures in this are my favorite.
Oh my gosh,
my favorite.
The East Indian, not even East Indian. Sorry, my apologies, but the Indian culture. I say East Indian sometimes because I'm referred to as, but this guy, probably one of my favorite characters. Classic.
He was hilarious.
Loves himself, finds himself very attractive. He's super popular.
To the really point smart. Where Miles is like slightly annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to put product in his hair and stuff.
Right.
This was an amazing scene.
Yeah.
That showed culture and then poked fun at it a little bit.
Yeah.
Even
I loved it.
There's a lot of traffic here.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of traffic here. And then a lot of traffic here.
Yeah.
It was crazy good.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was crazy good.
I loved it.
Right. And that's the kind of character that makes you want to learn more about that character.
If I have one complaint, it's that I did not see one Indigenous North American Spider-Man. I need it.
All you have to do, and we'll get to it in a minute, all you have to do is do some fan art about it. Right? Because I'll get to that in a moment.
I'm willing.
All right. There could have been, there was hundreds of them.
It's going to be ugly stick man art.
There is
happening.
There's room. There's room for.
There should be room.
All sorts of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider people.
Spider things.
All right. So after getting into a bit of an argument with his parents, he goes to his room
because he's grounded forever.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Months.
And because Gwen's got the crazy watch, she can zoom herself into his world, which he's, quite embarrassed about his childish room. Right? He's got drawings of her all over the place, or in his book.
Yeah. When she steals the book, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. You know what hurt me a little? When she took the figure out of the package. And I felt his pain there a little bit.
That's a really expensive collector's item.
Yeah. I really felt the pain there.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's into his universe, but not for the sole purpose of seeing him. In fact, she's not even supposed to see him.
No. And she used this mission that she's on as an excuse.
Yeah.
But she's there for the dot.
She is there to monitor the dot, which she doesn't do a great job of.
No, I almost feel like she was supposed to like catch the dot.
Yeah.
Like her whole mission was to just go there, get the dot, and leave. But she
spends too much time with Miles. They're swinging around the city, kind of chatting and stuff.
Not that kind of swinging, but
yeah, yeah. No, they're spider swinging.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's a club somewhere. Spider swingers. All right.
I hope it is. I'm going.
But in the meantime, the Spot is creating a new plan to power himself up. All right. Creates a little collider of his own.
Micro collider,
yeah.
I guess.
And then blasts himself. At some point, he kicks his own butt into himself.
That was prior to this piece, I think.
Yeah,
because he kind of finds out that he can kind of access the multiverse.
Yeah, and during that time, we get some cool scenes too. First off, the Lego scene.
Yes.
All right, Lego Spider-Man, brilliant.
I loved it.
Okay. Second off, he pokes his head out into the Venomverse.
Yeah.
Right, and he talks to that lady in the store, and it's amazing how she's not fazed by it.
Yeah, she's like, okay,
because like Venom walks into her store.
Yeah, right? On a regular basis.
Yeah, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but yeah, so she has to monitor him. She goes back, realizes that she's gotten herself into a little bit of trouble. All right, Spider-Woman calms her and says, "You messed up. We need you back here pretty much. We need you to go catch him. You're going to get one chance to go catch him, or I'm going to tell Miguel." All right. So she's got to bugger off into the next universe. Okay.
Right.
But who's following her?
Miles, because he's in love.
Because Miles has some of the coolest powers.
Yes.
Okay. He can go incognito.
Mm-hmm.
He can go invisible. He's got the what is it? The Venom blasts.
Yes.
Right. So he's invisible. Follows her into the next universe, not knowing even where he's going. Right.
Just dives in.
Yeah. And then they end up in his universe.
Who's that?
I cannot say his name.
I can't. I likely can't properly either, so I'm not going to try.
So they head into his universe, and they cause a whole bunch of trouble there. They're fighting the Spot, okay, and then the Spot's he's kind of leveled up a little bit.
Yep, upped his game.
All right, they're fighting. They get to a point where the Spot has gained access to the power collider there in that universe.
And they had figured that out, kind of, that he was jumping and looking for
a way to power up
in other places too.
Yeah, so. They can't let him do that, obviously.
Mm-mm.
So the three of them are going through, and there's these little jabs about the romantic tension between Gwen and Miles and stuff. And it's just absolutely hilarious and fun, right? Like I said, this character is just fun.
Yeah.
All right. there's some sort of a barrier that's put up, and they can't get to the collider. And he's trying to do his Venom Force thing or his Venom thing, right?
Yeah.
And then another really cool character is met in this comic. You know where my mind is?
Spider-Punk.
Spider-Punk. All right.
This guy is classically punk. Like,
oh yeah,
anti-establishment,
like
everything, anarchy,
right?
English.
He doesn't agree with anything. Okay.
No.
This is Hobart Brown.
Yes.
All right.
I love that when he takes his mask off, Miles just goes,
"You're even cooler.
Why are you even cooler with your mask off?"
I like when he does his introduction. There's like just a picture of another Spider-Man over his face, and he's like, "What, you think I'm going to tell you who I am?"
Yeah.
Right. But he gives, not even knowing, Miles gives him the advice, well, just, use your whole palm next time.
Yeah. Stop using your fingertips for your venom.
Which gets him out of a jam later.
Yes.
Right? So this is a really cool character. They pretty much get blasted with the force of the collider when it explodes, kind of.
Yeah. When God is leveling up to his supreme form.
Yeah, and then he's just like, "See you later. I'm going to your universe to mess things up."
Yeah. And gives Miles a vision.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. It was kind of strange. He sees the future.
He does see the future. And it's not good.
No.
The blast of the collider exploding destroys part of the building. That causes a lot of chaos in the city. A lot of people in danger. All the Spider-Men working together to swoosh down, save people, and everything. And Miles ends up saving the captain.
Yes.
Okay, of this universe, which we find out later is an anomaly, right?
It's a no.
It's a he's disrupting the canon.
I thought that was a cool
event. Yeah,
way
very
to say
cool
it too. Like, that's a canon event. You don't mess with canon.
Yeah. Which we'll find out in a minute, but he's disrupting what's meant to be by doing that. He doesn't even know that yet, and he doesn't know that Gwen is trying to prevent him from doing that. So he saves the captain, and then all of a sudden you see a big thing come down with a whole bunch of other spider people.
Yeah.
Because there's a big black hole kind of thing that's happening to this universe, and they're trying to stabilize it.
Yeah.
And now everybody's got to go back to all this main group, or the core group that we're seeing here, has got to go back to Miguel's universe,
which is Spiderverse HQ, apparently.
Yeah. Where we find out that it's not just a few spider
people. No, it's not an elite club.
There's a lot of them. So I just wanted to take some time to look at a couple that I found were notable and that I like. So first are obviously the game version of him.
Yes.
Right. And then obviously the animated cartoon.
Which animated version is that?
I can't remember exactly which one, but it is one that I've watched them all.
Yeah.
So
it's not like,
it's not the classic.
It's not super classic, and it's not.
It's one of the more modern
animated
series.
I can't
remember which one.
That's not one that I'm familiar with.
I am familiar with it only because I've watched like every one of them.
And he's got web pits.
Yes, he does. But that's not uncommon for a spider person.
Does he always have those?
Yeah.
He's just walking around with those.
All right. The next one being obviously
Scarlet Spider.
The Scarlet Spider, who was played by Andy Samberg, which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now, some people didn't like how this character was depicted in this. I was fine with it. I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, this
It was
brooding
character. Extra, really descriptive on his surroundings.
Yeah. And Andy did a great job.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. It was fun.
Some other fun characters that we see is the Spider Cat, who hairballs up spider webs into your face.
Yeah.
All right.
That made me laugh out loud for real.
Yeah.
Like
for real.
When he coughed that ball into Miles's face.
Yeah.
Was one of my favorites.
Okay. How can you not appreciate Spider Rex?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like the kid in me is just saying,
it's a T-Rex and a Spider-Man.
When you put two of my favorite childhood things together, all right? This monstrosity of Fallout thing.
Fallout?
We're actually looking at a figure of this right now, which is amazing, and I need it in my life. Yes. All right, this thing is a beast.
Yeah.
All right. And then this is a character that I was talking about earlier, or I was hinting at earlier, that I think is really cool because I think it was based on a fan art.
Yeah.
And it's Sun Spider, and it's based on a character that lives their life in a wheelchair. And it's that character in the movie where they've got like that spider leg wheelchair and stuff.
Yeah.
It's super cool. And the spider webs come out of her crutches and stuff like that. It's such a cool concept, and it's a cool character.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fun.
You know, and I just think it's cool when a fan art or a fan created characters they put in canon. I think it was put in the Edge of the Spiderverse books and stuff like that. So cool. I always think it's cool when, like the original Venom black suit Spider-Man was a fan art.
See, that's dope. That's cool.
That concept came from fan art. I mean, they paid very little for it. So, yeah. And then we've got our Peter Parker, you know, which is a fun-loving character in this series. And now he's got a little baby. Little.
And it has developed spider powers.
Yeah. I think the dynamic between this father-daughter dynamic is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, I shouldn't have made her those web shooters. That was a bad mistake. I know it's a bad mistake. You know, he's like, I know this is not being a good father, but we got to go on this chase.
Yeah. So, and he even gets called out later by his wife.
Yeah.
And
which I think it was MJ. It was MJ.
Okay.
It was MJ.
Hey, did you take our child?
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Fight? No.
I told you I wouldn't. All right. And then there's lots of other funny parts where they yell out, "Oh, you got to get Spider-Man," and they do the classic, "You, me, you," type deal. Because there's so many Spider-Men in this that you cannot talk about them all. You can't. So many you almost fall off your chair.
I think I broke my chair.
You cannot talk about them all. You cannot talk about them all. You cannot talk about them all. You can't. So many you almost fall off your chair.
I think I broke my chair.
You're gonna have to do the rest of the show with a broken chair, and that's funny to me. All right, it's funny to me.
Oh, good.
And then let's just show this picture where we can show a multitude of characters because we can't talk about them all and stuff. No. Anybody watching, if you want to point out and tell us what your favorite version of Spider-Man is or the Spider-Person is, then yeah, let us know because there's so many good characters here. You know, we've got business suit Spider-Man here. We've got what looks like a Savage Spider-Man kind of Spider-Girl, Paper Bag Man, you know, that I'm seeing. We've got the werewolf guy over here. All sorts of great spider people. And yeah, just let us know who's your favorite.
They look great.
I'm loving that you're having such a hard time over there.
I'm just gonna have to sit up really straight.
It's absolutely hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. All right. So where are we getting to next in this one?
So prior to the whole escape scene piece, we learned about the Spiderverse, and I cannot remember what Miguel Spider-Man 2099 calls it, but it's also stupid.
Yeah. The Spiderverse is definitely a better.
Wow, it's so much much
this
better. He basically said Spiderverse, but in big words.
Yeah. So this is an interwebbed thing. Okay. And it's all the canon events for the Spiderverse.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And it's explained that every Spider person has their Uncle Ben that passes, or their their loss in their life that creates who a Spider-Man is. Right? I'm loving that you're just having such a bad time.
I don't even know. The one side of my chair is falling off, I think. But
it's hilarious. I'm going to actually do this so that we can just make sure that we keep an eye on you.
There's a lot happening over here.
You get this scene where you see all these different events and stuff like that, and all the different Spider-Men and Peter and Gwen and stuff like that. They all kind of get down and stuff, and they're like, yeah, it happened. It's what made us. And the clips where you even see like the Andrew Garfield scene and the Tobey Maguire scene and stuff like that in the background is really fun.
It is so much fun.
I'm trying to carry this show here now.
I'm sorry. I think it's locked in. It's locked in for a minute.
So we need to speed it up.
I'm not making any promises.
We've been carrying on a little longer than I was hoping anyway.
Right.
So we'll try to speed this up a little bit, but essentially what we're learning here is that all these canon events must happen. All right.
Or so Miles isn't. They think.
That's what Miguel thinks. He's big on that theory. Other characters at certain points are saying, how certain are we of this? Right. But that's why Miles isn't supposed to be here.
Because he's an anomaly.
Because we find out that like this, the main plot of this is that he's not supposed to be a Spider-Man.
Right.
And his loss, like his father dying, is a canon event. And who's going to sit back and let that happen?
Right.
All right. So now he's got to go through all these Spider-Men, all these spider people, these spider animals, and all of it. He's got to fight all of them.
Fun fight scene too.
Like this is an incredible scene where he's evading all of these people. There's a lot of comedic scenes. There's a lot of like you get to see all these characters. It's so good.
It's great.
All right.
I loved it.
He's not gonna let his papa die. All right.
Papa no.
Papa no. Miguel chases him down violently almost. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like he's trying to hurt him. He's just trying to stop him. Tells him, you don't belong here.
Mistake.
This is where he learns he is an anomaly. He's the original anomaly, he says. He's pretty much, you're right. He's saying you're a mistake. That spider wasn't meant to bite you. That world is now left without a Spider-Man.
Although Miguel messes up some worlds and things
for his own benefit.
Yeah.
And let me just have a drink out of my Ghostbusters cup that I got from the theater watching Spiderverse.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Miguel is part of the reason he's so passionate about this is because he did mess up.
Yeah.
and it cost lives. It cost like it wiped universes out.
Yeah.
Right? That's part of the reason he's so passionate, okay?
I think if it was really that bad, though, the what is it, TVA?
Yeah,
would have came in. And
yeah, there's some higher up like multiverse beings that probably could have stepped in at this point.
Yeah,
you know. Here's the thing: is Kang aware? Like, is this all part of Kang's plan? Who knows?
Could be.
All right, nothing happens without these people seeing it.
That's right.
Is this whole thing canon?
It feels like it could be.
All right,
they were really pulling little ties in.
They were. They did mention. They did mention the Doctor Strange portions of it, calling it Earth. What is it? 199999 whatever.
Yeah, something. Like
which is funny because Feige tried to establish it as Earth 61. I can't remember. 616.
I think.
Is it? I can't remember. I'll try to put a little thingy up there of the right universe. I should know because it's the actual like comic book canon universe. I'm a dummy right now. Yeah. So here's the thing. He had a plan all along. Miles did, which was to lure all the Spider-Man away from the hub, right? So that he could run back and send himself back to his own universe so that he could save his father.
Go home machine?
Yeah, through the go home machine, which is the legitimate, not made up name for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was a great plan, and he crushed it.
He did crush it, okay. He did crush it, except for this is the spider that bit him.
Yes.
Okay. And the go home machine doesn't recognize Miles.
Nope.
It recognizes the spider. Okay. So at first you don't really realize it when you're watching the movie, but then it becomes very apparent that it has sent him to the wrong universe.
Yeah.
It sent him to Earth 42.
42?
All right. Yeah, 42.
Is that Earth 42?
Yeah.
What's it?
Yeah, it's Earth 42.
What Earth was he from then?
Earth, like, I don't know. Look it up. I can't remember.
Wow.
It's not Earth 42 because that's where the Spider-Man came from. Or that's where the spider came from.
That makes sense, I guess.
All right. I can't remember all the numbers. All right. I think it was 616 is the main universe, but I'm not even certain of that anymore.
616 is the main universe.
Yeah. I don't know what Miles' universe is. But sends him to the wrong universe, sends him to Earth 42. All right. Gwen goes to Miles' universe.
Earth 1610. Well, no.
1610, yeah. You knew that off the top of your head. Gwen gets sent back to her universe.
Yes.
All right. So because she doesn't
really quick overlay on that. Miles feels betrayed by his friends, the spider people from the first Spider film. He's now angry at them. Gets himself home. Gwen gets sent back to her home because she questioned Miguel.
And she caused the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Kinda.
Well, to Miguel?
Yeah.
She caused the whole thing. Okay.
It's all your fault.
So something that we kind of skipped over, and that's kind of cool, and I know we don't want to spend a lot more time, but we need to talk about this guy here. Hobart. And what he's been doing the whole time when he's walking up the thing, he's stealing little parts.
Yeah.
From just about everywhere he can, right? And then he ends up when they bail on Miles, he pretty much quits.
Yeah. Throws his transponder down and just says, I'm out.
And then later on, you figure out he's taken all those parts and he's made he's MacGyvered one.
Yeah.
Right, and he leaves it there for Gwen.
Yes.
So that Gwen can go to Miles's universe.
After she makes up with her dad.
Yeah, which is it's a very touching moment too, right? I feel like I'm gonna kind of skip over that a little bit, but it's only because I want to, close this up soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, her dad is no longer. He's gonna quit the force.
Yep, it's not the chief,
which means that
he'll live.
He no longer has to die, right? Very touching moment. All right, he's now kind of accepting her and stuff, and saying, "Hey, you got to do what you got to do, girl. That's how I raised you, right? Here's a little gift from your friend. He was a weirdo."
Yeah.
All right, and then you find the watch, and she goes after Miles. Miles is not in his own universe.
No.
She has a little chat with his parents.
Another heartfelt one.
Yeah.
Who's touching.
And then in the meantime, Miguel and the Scarlet Spider and Spider Woman have gone to Miles's Earth as well, trying to track him down and stuff like that, to no evade because he's not there.
Right.
All right. In the meantime,
Who is there?
In the meantime, Spot has leveled the F up.
Yes, he has.
All right.
Now he's only got little white spots instead of wee black spots.
Yeah. This second-rate, third-rate villain of the week has turned into one heck of a villain.
Yeah.
With a lot of power, and he's got his eye out to ruin Miles Morales' life. Right?
Which is a lot for a bagel to the head.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why you should never chuck a pastry at someone.
No. Look what they could come back as.
If you could take anything from this movie, is that what it is?
I think that's it.
No more food fights. All right. A random bagel could cause all of this. Right. So there's only a couple more things to talk about.
Yes. The big things, I guess.
Yeah, these are going to be the big things.
So what we end up getting at is Miles gets captured in this other Earth by his uncle, who's still alive in that one. His father's dead. And he thinks that he's been captured by the Prowler at this point, who was his uncle in his Earth. But after the death of his father, it was no longer. And it gets rough because we get to meet the new Prowler. It's really dark.
So when he walks out onto the top of that building, it pans out and it's almost anarchy. And then when he says, "There's no Spider-Man in this universe," there's it's a huge feeling there, of just that.
Fires everywhere, and you can hear the sirens and the police helicopters go.
And there's reminiscent of the Sinister Six everywhere, and stuff like that. Like the government is screwed, and seems like crime is taken over.
Yeah, very Gotham-ish.
Very much so. I never thought of it that way.
So scary, and
I was scared.
Miles' uncle tells him, when Miles tells him, "You don't have to become the Prowler, you don't have to be the Prowler," because his uncle was trying to be better at the very end. And his uncle says, "I'm not." And we get to meet the Prowler, who casually strolls in, holding the glove after he catches it from Uncle. And you're left wondering who this could be, except you're not really at this point.
No, it's you're pretty sure.
Yeah, you feel it in your bones that this is where this has all come. And that was a great scene too, where they're just staring into each other's eyes, Miles to Miles, and he realizes that his Miles or the Miles on this Earth with no Spider-Man has become the Prowler.
Yeah. Now we had a couple theories here. First off, let's talk about he's tied up on this punching bag, reminiscing the scene where I like that. Reminiscing the scene where Peter was tied up to the bag, right?
Yeah.
And Peter says, "Hey, you don't watch the eyes, watch the hands." Meanwhile, he's doing a little trick with his finger, gearing up to do some electric shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Electric shit, which he's used much better in this iteration after the whole hands jam too.
Yeah. I like when they do that. They call tribute to the past movie very well and stuff like that. This is another scenes where if you really look at the colors in the scene, you can tell you a different story if you pay attention to that. Right now, our theory when we were talking about it is that if not already, we believe that this Miles Morales, the Prowler, is, or at the very least will become good.
Right.
So
hopefully, I mean, I guess the big hope is that this guy's already good and is trying to do something good for the city of New York that's burning.
In a world where the Sinister Six has taken over as the main government or whatever like that, is it so far-fetched that that the Prowler, Miles Morales, the Prowler, could be good? He was meant to be bit by that spider, which means there is good in him.
Or, well, somebody was meant to be bit by that spider, not necessarily Miles.
No, it was Miles.
Are you sure on this Earth?
Otherwise, why would the spider seek out a Miles Morales?
Oh, that's deep.
The spider knew to seek out a Miles Morales.
All
right. And if you look at the colors in this scene, there's a lot of reds and blues.
Very Spider-Man-y.
Right?
Yeah.
Now they meet in the middle to make a kind of a purple, but I got a feeling that
tonight's gonna be a good night.
That the Prowler's gonna be a good guy.
Oh,
nice. But yeah, so that's our theory. We're kind of in agreement on that.
Yeah.
Whether it will be he's already good, or whether it will be Miles teaches him to be good.
Right.
That's going to be the story that we're basing it on.
Dope painted symbol, by the way. Here.
Oh yeah, very Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's where Miles Morales is left off. Okay. And Gwen, okay, she has gone and created a new band.
Yeah.
Right. I like the fact that she said she had to leave her other band, but she has left and created a new one.
And look at it.
And we get to see some old characters.
We've got Spider-Man Noir, anime Spider Girl.
That's Penny.
Penny.
Yep. She's got a new mech.
Yes.
In this movie.
Because her mech got smashed up.
Yep.
We've got Hobart chilling in the corner.
Peter and Baby.
Peter and the Baby. With his super cape.
Yeah. We've got Spider Pig. Spider Ham.
Spider Ham. A couple new friends. I cannot. I want to try and say his name so bad, but
yeah, it ain't happening.
I'm gonna have to Google it and listen to it several times.
All right, it's we're gonna call him the. I don't want to call him anything. You know who we're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy right there. Okay, and then we've got the our digital friend.
Yes, who helped Peter escape actually, which was
was really kind of cool, right? Story. So it's not surprising that she's come to the aid, and this is the new band. Very excited for this.
It's going to be fun.
I think. And then you think, well, you know what? This is going to be fun. I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
To be continued.
Rough one.
Stopped it right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in the theater the first time, not so much the second time, but the first time, I heard a lot of, oh, come on.
Yeah.
All right. People were not impressed that this had just ended abruptly.
Well, the second time you would have heard my wife say that.
Actually, now, I think it's brilliant.
Brilliant marketing, very comic-esque, because almost anytime you're reading a comic, it does the same thing, which just leaves you on that cliffhanger.
Yep, and it left you at the spot where you want the most to see more.
Yeah.
How is that not brilliant?
Because you know there's going to be a badass fight, because I think even at one point, Miguel, when he's looking for Miles on Miles's Earth, says, send everybody.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
Would you rather them have continued this on for another half hour?
Or
right? And shoving all that into the next half hour? Or would you rather them to be continue and spend an entire movie with this badass fight between this team and the rest of the Spiderverse?
And then you still have the dot to deal with.
Yeah. Do you really want to see all of that in a half hour continuation of this movie?
I don't.
Or do you want to see an entire movie that continues this on?
And I feel like this is the same kind of complaint that I was having with a couple of the series that we've reviewed recently, was that, it felt like
they're cramming it in,
crammed into those last couple of episodes, and it didn't feel like I was getting enough, and it wasn't complete enough. So I think
the way we feel about this is that they're doing it right,
and we're going to get just less than a year on it. 301 days, I think.
Not that bad, actually.
No.
All right. I myself think this is amazing. It was a great movie. Did I want to keep watching?
It was spectacular. It was amazing.
It was incredible.
It was incredible.
Oh, that might be a Hulk reference, but
yeah.
Throw it in there. Yeah, I'm giving this
banana.
A banana rating of. It was a great movie. This is hard. I want to give it the highest of the highs.
I know what you want to do.
All right.
But was there anything that tipped it down at all for you?
I enjoyed this movie through, I don't know if there was a moment that I didn't enjoy it. So
then you're going to have to do it.
I know. I don't want to just be throwing out 10s though. So I'm going to have to give it a 9.5.
You're going to have to give it a 9.5. What did you get? What would you have given the first one?
I watched the first one like 100 times, and I'm not joking. No, they're 10s. They're freaking 10s.
We still watch the first one pretty consistently.
They're freaking 10s.
Throw it on. It's a great movie. It's a great series.
The first one has been revered as the best Spider movie ever made.
That's right. And this carries that on. And if I feel like the people that are going to downgrade it were upset with the to be continued, and I'm gonna drop a 10 on it.
You know what? I'd consider the first one a 10, and I'm gonna do the 10 again. Like there's nothing I can't do. I'm trying not to be a softie when it comes to these movies.
Because you're a fanboy.
But
you're a Spider-Man fanboy.
I grew up watching Spider-Man, and I loved every moment of these movies. They're flat out 10s.
That's fair.
They're flat out 10s. I tried not to, but they are.
I know. I'm not letting you do it. I'm not letting you downgrade it.
You know me though. I've been too soft in the past.
You have been a bit.
But I can't not give something that it's deserved.
It deserves it.
So, all right. It's to be continued, just like this show. All right. Thanks for joining us. You know we love you.
We do. Love you guys.
Go ahead.
We'll see you on the next episode.
And like, subscribe, tell your friends, and all that stuff.
That's an actual heart. Why can you do a heart when you're on here and it turns into some peach? Get out of here. You know, I'm done. Done with this shit.
See you guys later.
Get out of here.
Bye.